Episode 27 of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode here on EAFC 24, and it has been a pretty terrible start to the season for Redmont Rangers. If we take a look at League 1 here, we can see that we're languishing down in 20th position, just one position at 1 point above the relegation places. Wrexham find themselves bottom of the league, so we're not doing quite as poorly as they are. A goal difference of minus 14 already after just 5 games played, but we're not doing too much better than them, to be honest. Let's check on the other teams that have been promoted as well. Walsall doing really well for themselves, up in 9th position. 2 wins, a draw and 2 losses. And then the 4th team that got promoted was Stockport. Same records, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses, 7 points. So decent start for those two sides, not so much for us or for Wrexham. We don't play a League 1 game to start this episode though. We've got a Carabao Cup clash against Reading, who have just beaten us 3-2 in the league. So kind of looking to get our own back here, but also Carabao Cup, so we're not too fussed about what happens in this game, as you can tell from the heavily rotated starting 11 that we're going to be running out. So Roman Hewitt starting his first game in goal, just 17 years old, potentially the future of Redmont Rangers, so we'll see what he can do. De Silva, Suhail, Hutton, Dorset and Bevan is our back 5. Sam Ford and Brandon Anderson play together again. And actually I'm going to bring Francis in for Anderson. So Zach Francis gets the start alongside Sam Ford. And then we've got Walter and Gibbs, the 2 youngsters from the Youth Academy, supporting Tavide up front. So that's going to be the first thing we do in this episode, to quick sim that particular game. Not too fussed what the result is. If we win, great. If not, and we don't, I'm not too worried. So we lose 4-2 on penalties after a 2-2 result after 90 minutes. Sam Ford, I assume that is. Yeah, because we haven't made any substitutions. So Sam Ford, and then Walter scores again in the 25th minute. So good run of form for him. Couple of goals in the last couple of games.
Hi, can you chat to us for a second about the match?
Looking like a bright prospect. I don't believe we've used him in game yet, but before so, potentially one we want to try out. Not quite as highly rated as Gibbs, but more impactful by the looks of it.
Thanks.
Couple of quick questions there for Hans Newman, and we are on to the next game, which we are going to play is Northampton. We're going to play away from home for the first time this season. Fixtures coming thick and fast already. Stanley will get back in the side. And Rhys Bevan is happy to be back in the team. He's going to be out again for this particular game, so we're going to bring Zoroya back in. I am just going to check on Northampton's lineup. So they're going to play a 4-2-3-1 wide. I'm really undecided about what I want to go with moving forward. Do we want to go with that 4-4-2 that we ran out against Exeter, or do we want to go with the 5-2-3? I think for this game we're going to be forced into the 4-4-2 just in terms of players who we've got healthy, so I don't think we really have 3 centre backs that I would be willing to run out there for this game. Hutton being a bit tired, Bullock the same, Dorset not in a condition to play, so I think we're going to have to go with that 4-4-2. I'm going to go Luca Morrow with his first start for Redmont Rangers, up front with Jake Dale. I would like to bring Garbutt back in just because he's fresher than Sam Ford, and then we have a fully fit starting 11. On the bench, it looks like we're just going to have to take who we can for this particular game. I would like to leave Walter on the bench, but Gibbs is just, he has more energy, he has more fitness at this particular stage. Jake Dale needs the captain's armband, and other than that we are good to go. And I think I actually accidentally just quit there, which I did. That should have auto-saved though, so we should be okay. We are still against Southampton. That is still the starting 11 that I've picked. Gibbs is on the bench, so yeah, it did auto-save for us, so actually we're fine. Jake Dale even the captain there, so we'll jump into the press conference. I'm not sure why it shows me those things every time. I do know by now what these press conferences are about. pretty even contest on paper, but they're sure we've got a plan to win the game. Well, we do tend to try and make a plan to win the game. Generally a good approach in football, I tend to find. We've got 5 new players coming in. I didn't realise it was quite that many. Will we be looking to sell players? Well, we have sold plenty of players already. Noah Burgess being the most notable. Joseph Dalton as well. And then a couple of other players going out on loan. So, not the kind of bad run we expect from Redmont Rangers. How can we turn things around? I don't want to lay into the team too much, so I have to take some of the blame. We have been off the pace though. It's been a difficult transition from League 2 up to League 1 so far.
Thank you for attending, everyone. We're now...
So we're going to run out the away kit for this particular game. I have shown the 3 kits previously. Home kit is the same as last season. The away kit is a nice new one though. I do like the look of it. I haven't seen it in game yet. I haven't played a game with this kit. And then the third kit is also a decently good looking one. I think I probably prefer last season's third kit with the cream. But let's run out the away kit against Northampton. I know they have white shorts, but it shouldn't be an issue. And we'll see what we can do here. See if we can get our first win in game. Picked up a couple of results in the sim.
Can't miss game and a backdrop to match this special occasion. The fans had this one circled on their calendars long ago, and now it's a matter of who will dominate on the pitch.
I think it's tended to be away games that we've got results as well so far this season as well. So
comprehensive coverage.
Hopefully being away from home helps us out a little bit today. No idea who that is. Alright, let's look for a bright and positive start like we had in the last game. But without the mistakes that meant that bright and positive start was all for nothing. Nice run from Zaroya. And he's carved himself out some space to put the ball in. Garbett heads at goal. Straight at the goalkeeper. Anywhere else and you have to think that would have hit the back of the net. But straight at the goalkeeper and he parries it away. It's the start we were looking for though. I do like the look of those kits actually. They look really good. I do wish you could choose a sponsor to put on the kits though. I think that would look so much better. Dale's just going to chip it into the box here, looking for Brandon Anderson. Northampton probably expecting a shot there, so Jake Dale trying to take the home team by surprise. Josh Key coming all the way over to the left back position to snuff out that Northampton attack, and Jake Dale picks off the pass. Unable to get anything going ahead of him too quickly though, so instead we'll keep the ball for a moment. Josh Key plays it out to Ryan Lancaster. And it's Luca Morrow, and what an incredible save that is. We just cannot beat these opposition goalkeepers. The ball falls to Luca Morrow on the half volley, and he lashes it at goal, and what a reaction save from the Northampton goalkeeper. Really should be 1-0 up.
Who can he pick out?
Redmont Rangers player nowhere near the ball there. Eli just does manage to win it. Garbett tries a cross, but he didn't really have... And I don't know how that's not a foul. How we were punished for those incredibly minor infringements in the last game, and then a player comes and slide tackles and completely wipes me out, and we get absolutely nothing. And it's their throw-in. Oh, I thought for a minute it'd come off the Northampton player there. save from Elliot Willis. He makes his own reaction save at his near post. His more comfortable than the one the Northampton goalkeeper was forced to make. Eli just waited a little too long to play that ball up to Jake Dale. Jake Dale was in space, but the hesitation from just allowed the Northampton player to get back in position.
On to Taylor. Stanley. Key.
Again, I feel like it's been a decent, positive start for Redmont Rangers here. Do have to make that pressure and that positivity count though, which we didn't in the last game.
Disappointing for Rangers to give it away like that. Breaking at pace. Strength and control, a big part of his game. Losing possession here.
Thought it was going to be another free kick there, so I just kind of tapped it back. I was waiting for the referee to blow, but he didn't that time. Eli Just, no hesitation in finding Jake Dale this time. He's crowded out by a few Northampton defenders, so not too much he can do with the ball there, but we just recycle, play it out wide once more. I feel like there's space in the wide areas. Jake Dale can't quite carve out any space for himself in the Northampton penalty area. We could have done with the Northampton defender being a little tighter to Jake Dale there. And that would have allowed him just to kind of shift his body and roll around him, but the fact that he stood kind of half a yard off meant that when Jake Dale tried to turn, he was turning into the Northampton player rather than away from him. Bit of space wide again. Jake Dale wants the ball, can't find him with the cross. This is where I think we really do need a big, powerful target man type player, because I feel like we do work the ball wide often. We are able to get crosses into the box, but Jake Dale not exactly the best target for crosses. He's certainly not the worst. But you know, he's not dominant in the air, let's put it that way. He's more than competent, and if he has space, he will win headers and he will put them away. He is strong as well, so he can outmuscle slightly smaller defenders to win the header, but I feel like Jake Dale combined with somebody who's, you know, 6'6", 6'8", with the aerial play style, maybe power header as well, that would be a really dominant proposition.
That's the kind of shielding play you expect from him. Still pushing for the goal that would put them ahead, but not forcing it.
Really patient there from the Redmont Rangers defenders. Did really well just to sit off the Northampton attackers. Oh, and Lancaster made a good run, but Luke Morrow can't find him. Oh, and Garbutt's completely overhit the pass there. Really poor. Getting a little impatient at the moment. We had a really positive start to the game, and it's just kind of settled down a little bit. And how that ball has stayed in and found the feet of the Northampton attacker, I do not know.
It's a really stylish piece of running. Timely defending when it mattered.
Ryan Lancaster's beaten one man and he drives forward to try and beat a second. He's outpacing the Northampton defender and puts it into the far corner. What a run from Ryan Lancaster, and what a finish in the end. A fantastic goal lost his place in the team a little bit towards the end of last season with Noah Burgess playing so well, and then Eli just coming in and wanted to play a big role himself. It's his opportunity now to really establish himself in the first team, and things like that will allow him to do exactly that. Really pacey, powerful run from Ryan Lancaster down the right hand side. He beats one player for pace, manages to hold off the second as he makes it into the Northampton penalty area, and then shoots across the goalkeeper and into the far corner of the net. So we do make the early pressure count in this particular game. Still a long way to go in the game though. Over an hour left when you consider things like injury time. Good block from Josh Key. So we can't rest on our laurels by any means. But we're not resting on our laurels, and Jake Dale with a shot narrowly wide. Goalkeeper wouldn't have got anywhere close. He was rooted to the spot really. And Hans Newman very surprised that his star striker's been able to find the net there. He has struggled a little so far this season. I wouldn't say struggled exactly, Jake Dale, but he's not been as clinical so far this season as we knew him to be last year. He's still been finding themselves in positions to score. And that's really close. That's really close. We're fortunate not to have conceded there. Yeah, Jake Dale's still finding himself in positions to score, but just not putting the ball away at the moment. So, I mean, sometimes that happens. You're more concerned when players aren't getting in positions to score at all, rather than when they are getting in positions to score and not managing to put the ball away. Scoring goals to some extent is down to luck. Oh, that's a nasty challenge from Michael Garbett in the end. The goalkeeper claims the ball and Garbett just clatters into him. What an intervention from Harrison Stanley there. Should have cleared the ball away further though. I was just trying to clear it as far as Jake Dale so we could potentially mount a counter-attack. I shouldn't have been concerned about that really. Should have just been concerned about getting rid. Oh, and that's really poor from Josh Key. Just waiting on Lancaster to get into a space to receive the ball, but again we end up giving it away. And Lancaster will just take it upon himself finally to clear. Not sure what the goalkeeper's doing with it. Good block from Josh Key. Comes inside to cover. And Northampton trying their best to get an equaliser before half time. Good header from Garbett though. Good save, I believe, from Elliot Willis. Not sure if it was saved or blocked there from the Redmont player on the line. And I think just keep the ball and settle things down a little here. Try and get to half time with the lead. We managed to do exactly that. Potentially we could work an opportunity of our own to end the first half, but what a challenge with the Northampton midfielder there, preventing us from doing exactly that. So it is a lead at half time for I believe the first time this season in a game that we've actually played.
For his contribution up to this point, Stuart.
Well, I thought he had a really effective first half.
Lancaster with a really strong first half, looking very dangerous every time he picks the ball up. And I think we're just going to run out the same 11 for the second half. We did end the first half there on the defensive game plan. And I think potentially I'll just go back to balanced for the start of the second half. Luca Morrow, does he have the pace to beat the Northampton defender? He does, but he doesn't quite have the finish. He gets the shot off, but by the time he managed to do so, the angle was fairly narrow. And it's a good save from the goalkeeper.
Who can he pick out?
Jake Dale unable to win the header. Caleb Taylor grabs the second ball and puts it directly out of play. That's really sloppy. Equally sloppy from the Northampton defender there though, just headering the ball straight up into the air for Garbutt to collect. Josh Key's going to put a really dangerous ball into the box. The ball falls to Jake Dale, who strikes at goal and smashes it into the roof of the net. What a ball in from Josh Key. Trent Alexander-Arnold-esque. Picking up the ball just inside the Northampton half and whipping a really dangerous ball into the penalty area. The Northampton players didn't know what to do with it. Diving header sends it straight up into the air. And a first time strike from Jake Dale. A really difficult finish there. Watching the ball drop out of the sky and then catching it on the half volley like that. Fantastic technique. And Redmont Rangers are 2-0 up. Josh Key has been an incredible signing. A little over £1 million is all he cost. But he's looking like one of the best players in the team at this stage. He can defend, he can attack, he can cross, he's got pace.
Well, those of you who like to follow every single move on the transfer market will want to be aware of
João Cancelo on the way. Oh, and here Eli Just is in here. He needs a bit of composure to finish and he doesn't have it. He blazes it over. Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt us. Acres of space, really sloppy defending again from Northampton, or sloppy play in general, gifting the ball to Eli Just. And his Redmont Rangers career has kind of been exactly that. Things not quite working out for him at Redmont Rangers. He shows a lot of promise, but things just don't quite come off. It's the final ball, it's beating that final man, it's having the composure in big moments. Really good defender from Caleb Taylor there, just standing strong. And Eli Just, again, tries to play a quick ball up to Jake Dale, but it's just not quite right. Elliot Willis has to come out and claim that, and he does. Really brave goalkeeper. And Ryan Lancaster's in some space here if we can find him, which we can. Oh, just a heavy touch. We've seen him beat those players on the Northampton left for pace once already. Thought we might see him do it again there. What a save from Elliot Willis that is. Diving away to his left. Fantastic reaction save. Ball in behind for Lancaster to chase.
They did have the ball, but not anymore.
Pace not quite enough to beat the Northampton players this time. And this is exactly what I mean. Ryan Lancaster can get nowhere near that.
Good tackle, it'll be a throw.
Nowhere near.
Bruff. Kaiser with it. Showing patience as they look for a way back into this.
Josh Key beaten for once.
He's an accurate cross.
It's a poor cross though.
Way through.
Poor challenge from Northampton there, and the referee does give us a free kick. It looks like the Northampton player's about to get booked. We don't have too much on the bench that we can bring on. Players just tired. I'm going to bring Sam Ford on, even though he doesn't get a yellow card. Sam Ford essentially the same kind of fitness level as Garbutt, but Garbutt hasn't done too much of note in the game, so we'll bring Sam Ford on and see what he can do. Just need to keep our composure now, really. Josh Key, that's second poor action in quick succession. Really good ball up to the Northampton striker, but he allows the ball to go out of play somehow. There's Jake Dale's goal again. Incredible technique. 2 goals and 6 appearances. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not the Jake Dale that we come to know and love, that's for sure.
Stanley. Well, sitting deep here, almost inviting the pressure. On to Taylor.
We can just work the ball around now. I think Northampton are probably going to get more and more aggressive in their press. But if we can just work the ball around and keep it, wind that clock down. There's Jake Dale. Fantastic strike at goal. He carves a bit of space out for himself on the edge of the box. Goalkeeper makes a good save.
Over it comes.
Oh, Jake Dale can't quite get his head to it again. Ball will fall to Lancaster though. Nobody in a particularly good space to receive the cross, and that's a really poor challenge. It's got to be, and that's not a yellow card. This ref the complete opposite of the one that we had in the last episode in that Exeter game. Don't understand how that isn't a yellow at the very least. We saw a red card for essentially that same challenge against Exeter.
Straight into the meat of the penalty area. A touch off the defender.
Eli just again with an athletic effort there. Takes the ball down on his chest and kind of attempts almost a bicycle kick of sorts. Let's go with the near post run this time and just kind of chip it in towards that near post. It's an interesting attempt, and Jake Dale I think gets his head on it in amongst the crush there. Game's fallen a little flat, which is something that we're going to be far more comfortable with than Northampton.
On to Taylor.
Just working the ball from side to side is more than fine for us. Managed to work a really nice opportunity though, and Luke on Morrow can't turn the ball towards goal. I mean, he turns it towards goal, but not enough so that it's on target. Really nicely worked from Redmont Rangers there though. Just kind of held the ball in the centre of the pitch for a moment. A nice pass up to Jake Dale and then found Eli just in space. Nice move from Northampton themselves though. Lancaster needs to come back and help out, which he does. And manages to come away with the ball there.
That is how to apply the pressure. And I'm hearing a change to the scoreline in the Peterborough United game.
Good decision from Sam Ford just to find Nick Zaria. Brandon Anderson with a nice run, finds a bit of space. Eli just is in behind. Slightly heavy touch allows the Northampton defender to recover. It's Sam Ford who puts the ball in this time, and it was Ryan Lancaster who found the ball approaching him as he took up a position at the near post, so I'd rather Jake Dale was there. Nice challenge from Eli Just, and he's got an opportunity to drive at the back line now. Cuts inside. Not too much on for him, so again, good decision. Just to lay the ball off to Brandon Anderson. Sam Ford in a bit of space, turns his man, strikes at goal, hits the Northampton defender who'd taken up a good position to block. And only a little over 10 minutes to go in the game now, so I think what we're going to do is move to our ultra defensive game plan and then just make a couple more substitutions here. Oh, Jake Dale not quite strong enough to hold off the Northampton defenders as they swarmed around him there, trying to get the ball back as quickly as possible in their search for a goal that could bring them to within just one of a leveller. We do play 5 at the back in our ultra defensive game plan, but I'm more than comfortable with Brandon Anderson being one of those back 5. Quite a versatile player in that respect. He can step into the back 5, not so much for long periods of time, but when we're trying to hold on to a game with only 10 minutes left. It's another good save from Elliot Willis. Well won from Jake Dale. I don't think the ball's going to drop to Eli Just, though. Northampton player almost ensures that it does. And again, Josh Key reads the play so well. Poor pass from Sam Ford. We just needed to set Eli Just away there. He tried to do that. Was unable to execute the pass properly. And with about 5 minutes to go, we'll make some more substitutions. We need to sort the team out here. I think we'll bring Jake Dale off for Zach Francis. We'll bring Gibbs on for Lancaster, who's definitely tiring. And then it might be worth bringing... I'll tell you what we'll do actually. We won't bring Francis on. We'll put Anderson up into midfield, and then we'll bring Bullock on into that back 5 instead of Francis.
Well, if they can just get one,
so 3 more changes. Still do have 1 remaining if we do want to use it. And the main goal here, just keep the ball really for the last 5 minutes or so. If we can do that in the Northampton half, all the better. And if we could do that in the Northampton corner, that would be perfect. Really poor from Eli Just every final action he makes is poor.
The referee is going to add on 4 added minutes.
Yeah, I've not been too impressed by Eli Just, to be honest. I mean, we did sign him on a free, so I haven't invested a great deal in him. And again, he can't get the shot on target. Finds himself all alone. All he needs to do is hit a shot across the goalkeeper and into the far corner, and he fails to do even that. Straight from Caleb Taylor there to get in position to win the header. And we've got to be expecting the referee's whistle any moment now, really. We are making it difficult for ourselves though, just simple passes that we're failing to complete. But there goes the referee's whistle. And it is a 2-0 victory away from home for Redmont Rangers. So a much more positive performance than we've seen in recent episodes. Managed to make our dominance count in this one. Jake Dale on the score sheet. Ryan Lancaster scoring as well.
The fact is, he was a constant threat today.
So let's have a look at the match stats. We did dominate possession. And we had 4 more shots than they did as well. Quick look at the XG just out of interest. 3.5 for us, 1.1 for them. So 3 points is the stat that really matters. Wrexham do get their first points of the season as well. A 3-1 victory. I didn't see who it was against, but how pleased were we with the players' display today? It's a good day for us, I'd say. Were we always confident we'd come out on top? We defended much better than we did in the last episode. And that did give us the platform. And then what did we do differently today? Yeah, defensively we were much better. We didn't have the referee blowing his whistle every 2 seconds either. And then it was a good performance from the Northampton goalkeeper, but not quite the same man of the match performance we saw in the last episode. So transfer deadline day. So I need to make a decision about those players that we put in bids for. I think I'm probably not going to end up signing any of them just now. I think we're going to save our 2 million and see what we can use it for in January. Check out some of the big deals from around the leagues. And Hakimi ends up going to Arsenal. I think I remember reading a news story about him. I don't remember it being Arsenal who were interested though. Maybe it was. It's 75 million for him. Schlotterbeck to Barcelona. Saliba to Bayern Munich. So Arsenal using the money from the sale of Saliba to bring in Hakimi. João Cancelo goes to Paris Saint-Germain for 60 million. I don't see anybody paying 60 million for João Cancelo anymore, even though I do really highly rate him. I think he was one of the better players in the Premier League when he played for Man City. Costa to Leverkusen is an interesting one. Mancini to Aston Villa. Christensen ends up at Napoli. Llorente goes to Juventus as well, who we've seen have signed Romelu Lukaku in this window as well. Manchester United sign the Bayern Munich right back. Konate ends up going to Villarreal. Romero to Dortmund. Upamecano comes to Arsenal as well. So there's the William Saliba replacement. So Arsenal really strengthening their back four with the signing of Hakimi and Upamecano. Kamara goes to Roma. Thuram to Brentford is a really interesting one as well. He would be interesting in the Premier League, and particularly for a club like Brentford. Anybody else in here interesting? Yusufa Moukoko I really like. And Arsenal strengthen even further at the back, so they're really looking to keep more clean sheets this season. Spending, what is that, 40, 85, and then about 150, 160 million there on 3 defenders. Jonathan David to Spurs. Kimpembe to Atletico Madrid. Klojek to Bayern Munich as well. Lukaku there to Juventus. Bergwijn goes to Latium. I always forget who that is in the game. Hermoso to Spurs as well. And then there's probably not too much in here that is of particular interest. Zinchenko to Liverpool actually is an interesting one. Mitoma to Wolfsburg, leaves the Premier League. And yeah, that's about it really for the big ones. So let's see what happens on deadline day here. Do I want to bring any other additional players in? I really like the look of this midfielder. Alex Lowry from Rangers. He's got 5 different play styles. 21 years old, 68 overall. Good stats, vision, ball control, dribbling. Short passes, getting close to 70. But he's unwilling to relocate. I don't think we can even bring him in on loan either, which is really frustrating. I like the look of this guy as well, but he's a bit too expensive for us at the moment. Potentially want to look at if and when we get up to the championship. I did put a goalkeeper on the transfer shortlist, just in case we do want to move on from Elliot Willis and we're not sure. We can wait for Roman Hewitt to develop. But 1.9 million, I mean, I guess we could see what we could get him for. But if it's much more than $1 million, we're not really going to be able to afford it, and it looks like it's going to be a lot more than $1 million. We could do like 1.25, and even then I'm not sure I'd want to go through with it. 1.25 and 10%, let's say. Nah, 1.6. Tension is red. Not interested for that kind of money. Centre backs, I think we're all right for now. Potentially would want to bring in another centre back for January. This guy I'm interested in as well. I think I tried to bring him on loan before, and I can't remember what the hold up was. It was potentially that his wages were too high. But his wages aren't even that high, to be honest. Let's say 40% will pay. Oh, and they're actually happy to do that. So we might actually bring in a centre midfielder as a bit of depth on deadline day, which I would be happy with. I've been looking at this guy for a little while. Haven't wanted to purchase him exactly. And I think it did say he was another one who was unwilling to relocate, so we couldn't purchase him. But if we could bring him in on just a 1-year loan, that would be really handy. I don't think Peterborough would loan us this guy, no. And I don't really want to buy him. Although we can buy him for cheap because his contract is running out. So let's see what the minimum they'd accept is. And again, we don't have to go through with this now necessarily. Let's give them a really cheeky bid of like 500,000 and 10%. Yeah, no, they feel like we've wasted their time. So we're going to keep an eye on him, and potentially we'll make an offer for him around January sort of time. And then can we get one of these? I probably don't need a second striker in on loan, do I? Jefferson, I'm pretty sure I went in for in terms of a loan before as well, but his wages were too high, I'm pretty sure. Although, no, he's only on about, what is that, 11,000? They want us to pay 80%, which is wild. They're down to 70. We could pay 60, that's 6.5. So potentially we could get a couple of impactful players in on loan here at the deadline. Probably don't need a centre back in on loan. But if we could get those two players, that would add a lot of depth to the team, actually. We don't get them during the first hour. I think we might call the episode here as well, actually. Actually, no, we've probably got time to sim one more game. And we do manage to get Magoma, the defensive midfielder there from Brentford. So, Paris Magoma. Definitely intrigued by him. He'll add a lot of depth to the squad there. So he'll be kind of the primary defensive midfielder behind Brandon Anderson. And Daniel Jefferson comes in as well. So we've actually got 2 strikers in on loan. One of whom we've got the option to buy. The other we don't. But the other we're kind of much more intrigued by, much more impressed by as a player. So I think Jefferson's going to go straight into the team and make his debut up front alongside Jake Dale fairly soon. Magoma's going to hit the bench. So actually really happy with those 2 deals on deadline day. Just adding a bit more depth to the squad. And yeah, I feel really good about those. So I think actually what I will do is just get to the end of deadline day here, and we will call episode 27 there. We won't simulate a third game. for this episode. Nabry's on the move. Daniel James also leaves England. Tapsoba goes from Leverkusen to Roma. Big deal for Berardi going to RB Leipzig as well. Ryan Yates leaves Nottingham Forest to go to some foreign club I don't recognise. Not too much else going on deadline day though. Oh, team strategy has changed. Looks like so Bristol City have come in with a bid of 680,000 for Aidan Hutton. And Luke Harris is being targeted as well. He's an attacker midfielder I have my eye on. I don't think we can afford to sell Aidan Hutton at this particular moment in time anyway. So we haven't really got time to bring in a replacement centre-back. Or have we? I mean, no, I think we probably haven't. I'm not even sure the Aidan Hutton deal would get over the line before the end of the deadline anyway. I do really like the look of this guy, Burke Reeser, 69 overall, 26 years old though, is a little older than I'd like. He is 3 overall higher than Aidan Hutton right now. And 2 years younger, I believe. With a few play styles. Is left-footed, does have very good jumping at 6'2". And some decent enough defensive stats. Josh Earl was another one I was interested in. 6'4", with 79 jumping. I don't think it's something that we do now. I think potentially we can come back around to that in January. But I think for now we just have to reject. I think with 1 hour left on deadline day, I don't think it would get over the line anyway. So I think it's the same outcome whether we accept or reject that. Alright, so we've got a couple of scouting reports to look at. And I'm going to get to those in just a second. What I want to do first though is jump into team management. Jump into Squad Hub and sort out squad numbers and things like that for those loanees that we've just brought in. I don't want Magoma to have 13, but 16 is fine. And then the other one we brought in was Jefferson, who I am very excited about. What number can he have? He looks like a 28 kind of player to me. So we haven't brought him in on a loan to buy. However, if he does look good, then I would certainly be open to putting in a bid for him once the loan does expire. So he's a top 5 player on the team right now. 5th highest overall. And then Magoma is, what is that, top 15-ish? So yeah, a couple of first team players brought in on loan there. Stanley's really happy about the win that happened a long time ago now. But we'll leave him to it. So let's check out these youth academy, potential youth academy players. Only 3 on the list here, none of whom look any good. And then we'll see what Brandon Clayton's got for us. Again, not too much by the looks of it. Yeah, very little there as well. We still do have one more to come through this month. But I think... let's sim this last game. I said I'm going to leave episode 27 there, but we've got time just to simulate this cup game against Rotherham, and then we've got 3 league games to take on in the next episode. So let's sort the squad out, sim that last game, and then we will leave episode 27 there. Jefferson, I want to save his debut for when we play, so I'm actually going to put Tavide and Dale up front for this one. And then other than that, run the same team out there. I do want to play a fairly strong team against Rotherham, since I want to have a go at the EFL Cup again this year. But we do lose, unfortunately. Zoroya scores his first goal for Redmont Rangers, but unfortunately it's all for naught since we do lose the game anyway. So a couple of scout reports to check out. I will do that after the episode, and we'll leave episode 27 there. So in the next episode we'll be taking on 3 home games. We do need to look to build on the little momentum that we've started to put together now. Up to 16th in the league. Still more losses than wins, so hopefully we can change that in the next episode. Still more goals conceded than scored, so hopefully we can change that in the next episode as well, which is going to begin with a game against Wycombe Wanderers. So until that episode, take it easy.